Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network, where we are 29 live broadcasts each week strong. And I'm also an expert presenter here on Talking Heads. This series of Talking Heads episodes, I am sharing my expertise and knowledge in how to start your own business. So if you're just joining us for this episode, please go over to our YouTube channel, not now, but after the show, and go ahead and look for the playlist Talking Heads 2022 and also Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck Talking Heads. So today's topic is the number one reason why businesses fail. We hear so often about somebody leaving their corporate career and starting their own business only to find out that the business failed. On the other end, there are so many people who've also left and made a success of themselves and their business. So what's the difference? First of all, I just want to share a few ideas with you. I was looking around my home to actually bring up some things here on the screen, things that people have invented or created. And I'm looking for things that don't have any brand names, but we have this sponge. This is a makeup sponge. Somebody invented this and has a business. We have a watch band for an Apple Watch, right? So this was created. You can buy all kinds of bands for your watch. Somebody invented that. Somebody has a business. We've got this little license plate, Avalon Jackie. Somebody created this. And I love this. I use this all the time. This is a weighted hula hoop. So somebody invented this and has a business. So my point is, why is it that things that are maybe not for the masses, right? Not everyone is buying this, for example, or I even love this. These are slides that you can use to work your core, work various muscles. So these are things that I've purchased and somebody created them. Somebody had a business or has a business. So how is it when people have such diverse interests, how do we actually take whatever it is that we're doing and make it successful? Well, I did a lot of research. I watched Shark Tank on a regular basis, and I looked at myself having two active businesses, what it is that it takes. And the answer is most people who fail, their businesses fail, they don't have discipline and they don't have focus. So you can be brilliant. You could be born into money. You could have a business handed to you. None of those things are guarantees that that business is going to be a success. And as you are starting your business, maybe you're a year into your business, 2 years, 3 years into your business, there are always things tugging at us. There are always distractions calling us away. Hey, you know what? You don't have to work on that now. You can work on that next week. No, when you're in the corporate world, yeah, maybe on a Friday you can check out and you know the business is going to be running. But when you have your own business, you cannot check out. So unless you have a team of people whom you can trust and they're running your business, but that's not typically the case when we first start our business. When we first start our business, as I've shared in other episodes, we are the business. We are the brand. We are marketing, public relations, sales, you name it, we're doing it. We're constantly learning. And so what happens is when we don't have the results that we think we should have, when we should have them, we believe that we are a failure. We believe the business idea is broken. And possibly that's not the case at all. The case is that not everything is going to happen right away. That's not how it works. Sure, for some entrepreneurs, they are immediate success, but can they consistently maintain that level of success and that growth? So to me, the answer is it's discipline, and it's focus. So much like other things in our life, taking care of ourselves, discipline and focus, keeping our eye on the ball. So when you're running your own business and there are temptations, there are distractions, are you going to let them get the best of you? Are you passionate enough to know that you have what it takes? That if you created this hair clip, that this hair clip is in such need that people are going to be paying for this hair clip. I paid for it. I don't know who the company is, but I believed in that hair clip was what I needed and I purchased it. So what if I had been the one inventing that hair clip and I thought to myself, there's so many hair clips out there. This is just another one. Did I do my research? Did I determine who my audience is? Who are my potential clients? If you don't do the research, like I covered in another episode, then you're going to struggle. If you haven't put in the work beforehand during the operation of your business, the potential for you to fail is there. So I studied a lot of what Mark Cuban put out there and some of the other sharks. And it really comes down to who is the one that's going to ride or die by this business. And so for me, I'm in this business. I'm above this business. I'm the ostrich and I'm the eagle on my businesses, whether it's Dr. Jacalyn LLC or USA Global TV LLC. So while others are on vacation, I'm happy for them. I honor them. There is no vacation. To me, every day is a vacation because I get to do this. And when you feel that passionate about your business, that's how you'll feel similarly in some manner or another, that what you're doing is the gift. It's the reward. It's the payoff. To other people, you go and you punch a clock, you go work for somebody, and then you deserve that vacation because you put in so many hours, so many weeks. To me, I feel like what I'm doing right now with the amazing view I have of the bay, this is the vacation. This is what it's all about. I get to wake up and come here and do what it is that I love to do, give people a space to share their story. I love sharing my story and my experience. So when you feel that your passion is waning, it might be time to look at a few things. Number one, how's your health? How are you feeling? Are you doing self-care? Are you literally in or on above the business 24 hours a day? You've got to take time for yourself every day. I heard Mr. Wonderful report, again, not a paid spokesperson, but just heard him say the other day that you have to take 30 minutes a day for yourself to do something to get away from whatever it is that you're doing. So I personally do this. I do this 6 days a week. One day a week, I'm literally broadcasting for almost 10 hours. And by the end of the day, my eyes hurt, my feet hurt because I stand for all my shows and I've got all this light coming in front of me. And I give myself grace that I'm not going to exercise on one day a week. I'm going to take that time just to give my eyes a rest. But I definitely take the time to self-care, to drink enough water, to get exercise. I get really good sleep. I've got this watch monitoring all of my vital signs to let me know how I'm doing. So that's really key. If your passion's starting to fade, how is your health? Many times we don't feel well, and that affects the passion that we have for our life, as well as for our business and for our relationships. So if your health is good, if your relationships are good, it could be that this is not what you thought it was going to be. And that's okay, because hopefully you've realized this before you've invested so much into the business. What happens if you've invested a lot of your money, or you've borrowed money, or you have investors? Maybe it's time to bring someone else in. Maybe it's time to talk to a business coach, to a mentor, to somebody who's already been where you are, to say, hey, I was really passionate about this, and now I'm not so sure. You might also be wavering in terms of how you're feeling because you expected certain returns. You expected to be making a certain amount of money. You expected, and it's not coming to you in the time frame that you had hoped. That's why it's vitally important, as I mentioned last week, to go ahead and establish a business plan. You need to have a strategy. So when things don't go the way you think they will, what are you going to do? I've shared this before, but it's worth repeating. I was in corporate for 20 plus years, and I worked with a number of coaches, specifically one coach who's a team member here, Mariska Duprier. I worked with her while I was in corporate because my health was failing. I had 3 autoimmune diseases. And as much as I love my job, I love my work, I love my clients, I love the money, I was not feeling well on a regular basis. So it occurred to me something was missing. So I worked with Mariska and we came up with 3 plans for me to leave my job. So I was going to quit. I was going to retire from my corporate career, go out on my own. And I had 3 plans. If this, then that. If this, then that. Well, guess what? I didn't have a plan for a pandemic. No, I did not. So March the 6th, 2020, I retired from my corporate career. Was so excited, happiest day of my life. Not because I didn't love what I was doing, as I mentioned, but I was so excited to pursue my career as a certified life, career, and executive coach. And then the pandemic hit. So my passion started wavering because I was used to making 6 figures and the checks coming every other week and the best benefits you could have, traveling the world, 5-star resorts, you name it. And now all of a sudden, there's no money coming in. I'm living off my savings. Nobody wants a coach because they can't afford to pay for it. So I decided to get certified as a meditation instructor because people could really use meditation. And I got certified as a yoga sculpt instructor. Well, I started doing all these things for free because people needed them. And I wanted to be there for people. So what ended up happening, this passion that I had for the coaching, I called my former employer and I asked them if I could come back in August of 2020. And I'll tell you, that was one of the lowest moments I can ever remember because I thought, here I am, I'm leaving, I'm doing my own thing. In fact, my boss really commended me and said it was a great thing that I was doing. It was very brave. And now I'm calling to ask for my job back because I lost my passion. I lost my focus. And what was the reason? It was because I was afraid, definitely. But my number one passion is not coaching. I love to coach. I have clients I coach, but it's not something I want to do every day. What I want to do every day is run this platform. I want to produce these shows. I don't want to be in front of the camera for all the shows. It's exhausting. I want you to be in front of the camera and I'm producing your shows. So back to my story. So my boss said they weren't hiring because they're in the event space. And so they lost a ton of business because of the pandemic. And it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because that caused me to realize there was no safety net. There was only me. And now what was I going to do? Was I going to run back to corporate in some other capacity? No, I was going to move forward with Dr. Jacalyn LLC. At the time, I did not have USA TV LLC. That just came last year. So I pursued with what I was doing and I continued with the radio show. Then they all came together. And now it's amazing because I coach people on how to listen, which is what I love. So my point is, I thought I knew what my passion was, but it wasn't quite honed in. I wasn't honed in on it. It's like if you have a funnel and you bring it down. The funnel was, I want to help people. I want to coach, and then bring it down, bring it down. I want to teach people how to listen at an elevated level. And I have a platform to do that, a global platform that we have people from around the world who are taking the power of listening course and getting to be an elevated listener. So for me, my journey was a little circuitous. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say the word circuitous. And I didn't get to exactly where I wanted to go in the time that I wanted to get there, but I knew I was on to something. And the other reason that I knew I was on to something was because people I never met before from places across the world, from the UK, from Jerusalem, contacted me via my website to let me know they had been watching me and that I had something special. And when I saw who the people were and what they had accomplished, that to me was reinforcement. They wanted to be on this platform for me. And I thought to myself, they're on platforms all over the world. Why do they want to be here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn at the time? And since then has been the evolution of USA Global TV and radio. I started USA Global TV LLC in August, I believe, of last year. And we rolled out our platform in January of this year. So what does this all mean when we think about why the number one reason why businesses fail? It's because we don't have the passion. We're kidding ourselves. We have a hobby. We like to tinker with our car in the garage. We like to do oil paintings on a sunny day. We stand outside and paint what we see. That's not a business. That's a hobby. Can you turn that hobby into a business? Yes. But what are you willing to let go of in order to do that? For me, the price has been high. I have no social life. Zero, none. There's no dating. There's no getting together with friends. There's no galas. There's nothing. And that's okay. I had all of that and I'll have it again, but not now. This isn't the time. I am fully committed to what it is I'm doing. Now, it should also be said that do you have any employees? Do you have any 1099? Do you have any suppliers with whom you have agreements? I feel responsible for having this platform up and running regardless of what it takes. I've shared this before. It's about $2,000 a month just to run this platform. And that's without keeping the lights on. That's without anything else. So I have to create income. There's not any question about what has to be done. I run the numbers. I know what it is I need, and I know I'm going to get it. So every month I say the same thing to myself, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. And what's happening, we're growing more and more and more. Now, I also have to share, let's say I was in a relationship with someone. I would not be able, me personally, I know myself, I couldn't give them what they need and give this platform what it needs. There's no possible way. So for me, it's been kind of a blessing that this is what my situation is, because I know this is what it takes. And we'll have people on our platform and they'll say, I can't be on the show because I'm going on vacation or I'm doing this. I am happy for them. Go for it. Good. I'll take that time and I'll do something else with it because I'm constantly creating. I'm still focused. When I was in my corporate career, my reviews, I would always get, you're a mile wide and an inch deep. So I get assigned an account and I look and see, who do I know, who knows someone, who knows the CEO, et cetera, et cetera. And then I just sort of, okay, I'm not going to work on that account. Then I'll go to this account. And I was successful, but could I have been more successful? Absolutely. So I know what it means to be distracted and to go off in so many directions. So I feel like today I have a very good handle on what it is I'm doing. I don't expect you to understand what I'm doing. I don't expect anyone else. I have it written down. I know where I'm going. I know what the end goal is. And I don't know everything that's going to take to get there. But what I do know is it's going to take me being healthy. It's going to take me being passionate, me being disciplined, and me being focused. And if I lose any of those things, it's very likely that the businesses will not be successful. So, that being said, I hope what you will take away from this episode of Talking Heads is, if you feel an affinity for something, if you enjoy doing something, do you enjoy it enough to put everything else aside? Do you have people in your family, people in your network whom you really rely on, who support you in doing what you're doing? And if they don't, are you okay walking away from those relationships for the time that it's going to take to do what it is you need to do? Are you open to feedback? Are you willing to survey people and ask them what they think about your offering, your service, your product, and take that feedback without getting insulted, without taking it personally, without falling apart? Are you willing to take that as an education for you to incorporate to be even better, to be even stronger? We just started surveying all of our guests. And of course, one of the challenges in surveying is getting people to respond. But so far in the last few days, we've had about 28 people respond. We interview maybe 29 people a week. So I think that's pretty good feedback. And only one person gave us a rating that was not something that I consider to be desirable. To me, it's got to be a 9 or a 10. And this person was going through some personal things in their life, and I'm not sure if that had an impact, but I reached out to the person because I'd like to hear their feedback and how can we make the experience better, instead of saying, oh, I don't care what that person thinks, or their opinion doesn't matter. No, their opinion does matter. It does matter because I want to make sure that whatever their experience was, that we grow from that. And that's something else for business: reputation, branding, making sure that you are your brand and your brand reflects you. That's what people are buying, and you need to be consistent with that branding. When I first started out, to be honest with you, I was all over the board with my branding. I hired professionals who came in and helped me create brands. This Talking Heads is a brand. Help me create brands so that you can identify which show is which. If you are a follower of our channel, of our network, you'll see this graphic and you know that's Talking Heads. Of course, it says Talking Heads. So branding is really important as well. So when I go back to being passionate and whether or not it's something that you're willing to ride or die by, it's really vitally important, because in this journey as an entrepreneur, I have definitely made mistakes. I have trusted people I shouldn't have trusted. I had opportunities to do something and I didn't act. I did act and I shouldn't have acted, but they were all opportunities for learning and for growth, and I welcome them. Initially, some of them were aligned with an investment in money in my business, and that didn't work out too well. So I realized I trusted the wrong people. So if you trust the wrong people, yeah, you probably will get burned, but it happens to all of us. And had I not done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm going to leave you with this: being an entrepreneur for me is the most exciting thing I have ever done in my life. And I've done a lot of exciting things. I say this to my family all the time. If I should leave this earth today, I have had quite a run, quite a run. But nothing could compare to what it is I'm doing today. Staying at the Ritz in Paris and having 3 fabulous dogs and wonderful family, all the lovely things that I have, I'm so grateful for. There's no comparison to family and to health. Having my own businesses that I am responsible for, that I get to make the decisions, is such a rush. It's such a joy. I can't wait to get up in the morning, come up here to my studio, get behind this green screen, put all these lights on. And I share with you this as I hold this up. It's not easy. As I mentioned, I have pads. I must have 5 pads of paper here of things that I work on all the time. I'm constantly thinking and coming up with ideas of how can I help the people on this platform? How can I help showcase what it is they do? How can I help them grow their business? And I mentioned on an earlier show, I like to walk on the weekends. I'll walk 7 or 8 miles on a Saturday, and then the same thing on the Sunday if the weather holds. And most of the time, while I'm supposed to be just communing with nature, I'm actually thinking. And I come up with these ideas. I was walking on Saturday and I purchased 2 websites while I was out walking, because I thought, okay, this is the next thing. It's for our elevated listeners. So that's to come. So I want to leave you with the fact that the passion that I have is one thing, but the determination and the focus that I have says it all. And I already shared with you, I get invited to so many things, and the answer is always thank you, but not now. I have my eye on the ball, and not everybody approves of that. Not everybody agrees with that. And that's okay. They don't have to, because they don't see where I'm going. Only I can see where I'm going. And I thank you for taking this journey with me. I do want to share this with you. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about how and why I left the corporate world, I did publish my first book during the pandemic. Yes, I actually have a piece of paper hanging up over here. It was June 4th, 2021 at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I became an Amazon #1 bestseller. This is my book. It's called Behind the Green Screen: How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. So this is a picture of what my studio looks like. It's a little bit different since 2021. And I'm fortunate I now have 2 studios. I have one here and one in Florida. But this book basically walks you through the story of my corporate career. the things that happened to me, and then how I ended up going into this business. And it's really, I think, very interesting. I give tips for people. I call the people who are reading it dear reader, as though you're a dear friend. So there's a lot of good tips. I've gotten really good testimonials from this. I'd love if you would pick up a copy of this book. It's an easy read, and the link is there for you. I put it there, I think, yes, to order my book on Amazon. This is the second book that I published, and this was this year. Adversity to Awesome: Inspirational Reflections to Make You Reevaluate Everything. This book is a combination of stories from interviews of 11 other people, and they've overcome tremendous adversity. I've shared with you before, if you've been here, I was raped, and I detail that here in this first chapter of this book. So I would love if you picked up a copy of this book as well. This is very interesting reading because everyone in this book is a success, and they share the backstory that you may not know what it is. And they're from all over the world. So I give a lot of thanks and credit to the other authors in this book. My book coach, Red O'Loughlin, and I, we actually took their stories and put them together. So it was a seamless journey. So please pick up a copy of that book. We are also starting our planning for our 2023 programming. If you're interested in being a co-host, if you're interested in being a host, if you're interested in being on a panel for healthcare, or our men's show, or our women's show, if you're interested in listening at an elevated level, maybe you're a business owner, maybe you are a principal of a school, maybe you're someone who has the opportunity to help other people learn how to listen at an elevated level, please do reach out to me. My contact information is there in the chat. And finally, if you are an expert in your area, in your field, if people look to you as an expert, if you have 5 years experience or more in your industry and you'd like to be a talking head and have your own 30-minute show, please do reach out. The information is there in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll be back next week to talk about another aspect of being a business owner. Next week, we're going to talk about social media. This is one that really trips people up. People get so upset about social media that they either are on the bandwagon or they're not on the bandwagon. I've had quite a journey. I've hired 2 people that didn't work out. Another one of those things, spending money that didn't work out. But now I've found somebody who has really turned the tables for me. And I had to go from where I was to where I am. So I'm going to share with you what I had to pay for. I'm going to give to you for free. So thank you so much. I'd appreciate your support. Go and pick up my books. I appreciate it. We'll be back shortly with Pet Psychic Amina. And today we're talking about monarch butterflies. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.